36. Man Toga, SRS runway, auto thrust is blue. 89, thrust set. 5500. 31. Rotate.
Well, hello. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Whoa. Okay. Monitor. Don't do that. All right. Yeah, we're still live. Good. Sorry about that. Technical difficulty on my end. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Glad to have you here on a lovely Tuesday afternoon. Thank you for joining me on a lovely cold weather, bad weather flight today from Seattle, Washington over to Bozeman, Montana, in lieu of, or maybe in addition to, watching the World Cup. I know this is a global channel. A lot of global other countries other than the USA love soccer. So I know you guys have a lot to watch today, but thank you for spending a few minutes with me, hanging out with me today. I think it's going to be an exciting one. I haven't been live for about a week now, so it feels good to get back in the saddle, back in the groove. I thought we'd do something a little bit different today. You know, I really was going to fire up the Phoenix again as I was looking at the history of all my airplanes that I've been flying on stream, and you know what? The fly-by-wire 320 has kind of gone by the wayside for a little bit, so I figure we're going to give it another shot today. Now, last time I flew the fly-by-wire, we had some issues. We had some issues here and there, but I'm hoping everything's gonna be smooth sailing today. So we're gonna give it a fair shout. Gotta love the sound pack. Love the airplane. I love the Neo in real life too, so I think it's going to be a fun flight. Thank y'all for joining me. David Edwards, Jasper Snucks, good to see you. Petrifi's in the house. Zach, Chaos, Gavin Cornell, Robin H, good to see you, man. Fubar in the house, good to see you, my friend. Al W, what is up, man? TCU number 3 in the house. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting playoff run here, I think. Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Alexandra, good to see you as well. Always a pleasure. Matt Warren in the house. Infernity Tech, Kieran Anderson, Lazos, Matt Warren, if I already said you, Chuck Blake, A Cicada, Robin Hugo, and many more. Greg, good to see you, man. Welcome on board. So it's going to be interesting. I've been sitting here looking at the weather. It's kind of been going between rain and snow here in Seattle. We'll pick up the actual METAR and we'll fly out and we'll go from there. I think we're going to have to actually de-ice today, though, because I think we're in some freezing conditions, and it looks to me that these are snow particles coming down rather than rain. So maybe just a little bit of mix of snow and rain. So we're going to get the de-ice trucks from GSX as well. And I hope you guys are ready. I'm very curious to see how this airplane handles. I haven't flown it in a long time, right? It's been probably over like a month or two at least. So I'm on the latest experimental version. Well, let's hop into this right now and see how it is. So anti-ice is about to be crazy. Petrifi, I know, man, it's going to be wild. So shout out to all y'all who watched the little shorts video there. I had some raw footage of flying in some snow and some ice and actually some pretty heavy rain too. But yeah, if you haven't flown in snow from a pilot's perspective, it's actually pretty weird. It's almost psychedelic looking. If it's heavy snow and nighttime and you have the landing lights on, you can really disorient yourself if you just stare right out the window. So I know a lot of y'all, not all the members, but a lot of you members got to watch that video and you enjoyed it. So thank you for watching that. I got myself a peppermint mocha today. I'm going to need a peppermint mocha emoji. Or, yeah, we'll have to have a seasonal emoji, like peppermint mocha, pumpkin spice latte. I think that's a good idea. I have to come up with some seasonal emojis. All right, let's go ahead and get this thing fired up. Now, the big thing about this airplane is the sound. So I'm going to kind of bump the sim up a little bit more. Let's see what she's got today. So here we go. Battery 1, battery 2. External power, fire it up. Love it.
Airborne.
WestJet airborne. So I did turn on all my lights prior to starting the sim up. So all my lights are up. We're going to let the screens come to life here. We'll see what's going on. Ivar Lundy, welcome back to Private Pilot. Glad to have you on board, friend.
We
welcome.
are waiting for the 886.
I'm going to go ahead and turn off the radio right now. Since we're sitting here at the gate, let's go ahead and let the airplane come back to life. First time seeing the 36-month badge looking good. Gavin Cornell, indeed it does. You have your V1 status has been achieved, Gavin. Good to see you, man. Thank you for the continued support. You guys are absolutely awesome. Thank you, sir. Duffman has a quick question. Is it allowed to change the standby altimeter to local pressure earlier than 18? I like to change it at TOD. Duffman, technically no, but what I do and what a lot of guys do is, like, if we're at top of climb, or excuse me, we're at cruise, and I know, like, we're coming up to top of descent and I'm getting the weather probably about 250 miles out or so, I'll see what the weather is and what the pressure is, and I'll change the standby. And then I'll just put it right back to standard so I know what it is when we go through the transition altitude. And I do the same to the top one. But really, technically speaking, in the U.S., above that transition altitude, even your standby should be on standard pressure. So, is it wrong? Is it going to cause any issues in a normal scenario? No, it won't. But what happens when, the only time you would really be down to using your standard altimeter, your standby altimeter, is when, poo-poo really hits the fan. So the last thing you're probably going to think about if you're in an emergency electrical configuration and you're on the ISIS, you're probably going to not, what if you don't change it back to whatever the pressure is and now you're a couple hundred feet high, a couple hundred feet low, and that could cause an issue. So try to keep that within the confines of being legal and doing it with the right time. Let's go get the dome light up as well. We'll go ahead up the left-hand side. Passenger ground control push button is on. CVR test. Beautiful. ADIRS 1, 2, and 3.
1882, you are clear to...
All right, we're going to go ahead and just shut off that sim. I guess we can't shut it off from the panel there. Unless, do we have both radios on? No. Okay, just one. All right. I was looking at my VAT sim on the other side. Everything else looks good. Strobe into auto. Nav position 1. No smoking on arm. Auto. Everything looks good here. Fuel tank pumps are off. Let's go ahead and do a fire test. 2. Phantom already did the APU fire test. Everything looks good here. Man, I've been looking at the Phoenix so long that this looks different over here. Everything is fine. Everything looks good there. N1 mode. Oh yeah, because we're in the. That's right. We're in the CFM Neo. That's right. I was looking at that. Threw me off. I'm like, yeah, we're in a Neo, and then I see this N1 mode up here. That's because. Wait a second. Why would we have N1 mode on a Neo? Because it's already in N1. Has that always been there? Is that just a Microsoft thing? That might just be a Microsoft thing. Because that should only be there for the IAE engines. N1 mode right there. I think that might be a Microsoft thing. It's something I just haven't noticed. Anyway, overhead looks good. We'll continue on down here. Let's come to the McDo, and I always fumble my way around this thing. So let me see if I can get it, get our flight plan done here at least. Let's go init. Let's do this, and we're going to go init data request. Last time I messed with the box, it really screwed up the FMS, so we're not going to do that today. Let's go ahead and pull our flight plan in here. Yeah, the IEs only have that flame. That's what I was thinking. I think it's just an Azobo thing. Runar, good to see you. Welcome to the stream. What's in between nav position 1 and 2? There's actually 2 sets of nav lights on the wingtip, and I don't know if you could see it. Let me go into drone mode here. I don't know if it's on the Azobo model here. It is. Although it looks kind of poorly written. Yeah, I don't know if you could see that. Let me angle it down a little bit more. There we go. So nav 1 and 2, there's actually 2 nav light bulbs here, as you can see. Actually, no, this is a Charlotte, so I think this would be nav 2, nav 1. Basically, it's 2 sets. So if one nav light goes out, you could then switch to the other set. And how we do it in real life is we just alternate. If the captain's flying, we'll put it in nav 1. If the FO's flying, we'll put it in nav 2. Just so both bulbs burn equally. Now here's a trick question, not a trick question, but this is a knowledge question. I know I've talked about it before, but what would happen if you are doing your walk around out here on your lights and your nav lights and you saw a little blue LED next to your nav light, your red nav light? If you saw a blue LED light in here, what does that mean? Do any of you remember what that means? Maybe some diehards probably know. If you're type rated, don't answer. It doesn't apply to you. Well, I mean, it does apply to you, but that's cheating. But yeah, so 2 sets of light bulbs. That's it. Gavin Cornell straight to jail. All right, let's go ahead and reset you back there, back into here. Here we go. Where we at? Light is about to go out. Yes, and it got to change. Exactly. So it's a burn indicator essentially. So it's telling you that the light bulbs are about to burn out. So you need to either change the bulbs or switch to a position, the other position, and burn that for a while. All right, let's continue with our pre-flight. Engine looks as good as it's going to go. Hydraulics were all properly serviced. Beautiful. Funny thing is, I had a my yellow hydraulic the other day was like up here, like over-serviced. So we had to write that up. Interesting. Everything else looks good. Oxygen, everything beautiful there. And that's off, off, down. Parking brake is set. Beautiful. Okay. Let's continue on here. We're ASA 357. Let me get us some ATIS. That's going to dictate a couple of different things here. We'll do a weather request. Let's do it all except Billings, because we're probably not going to go to Billings if we need to. If anything, we might go. We might, in real life, you'd probably have enough fuel to come back. I don't know. That's a pretty long flight. I don't know if Billings is a great alternate. We'll go ahead and get the ATIS and we can print it. We'll hit the magic barrel ref key, 29 or 9 or 8. That is good. And I guess I can do GSX. Actually, before I do GSX, let's go back. So weight and balance is no longer in here, right? We got to go over here, and we got to go to payload, and we're going to do real time, and we're going to download information from SimBrief and begin boarding. Beautiful. So I guess we're not even going to use GSX boarding. We'll just use fly-by-wire boarding. It's real time. It's going to change the CG. I got to tell you, right out of the gate here, guys, these fly-by-wire team have really developed one hell of a comprehensive EFB. The tablet, I was kind of looking at it before the stream started, and it is very comprehensive in what you can change and modify and where they're going with this airplane. Very, I mean, it's a payware quality EFB for sure. So love seeing that. I still don't know all the ins and outs of it. I just kind of found out where all my basic stuff is, but it's kind of cool. You see passengers loading the airplane here. It looks like they're boarding from the back initially, but really cool. Okay, so that's done. What's up, Flight Force? Good to see you, man. My man coming through. Good to see you, Flight Force. Thanks for the continued support, buddy. Hope you're doing well. All right, let's get our ATIS here. METAR print. We're going to print all of it, and then we're going to come over here to the printer. This is the best part of the fly-by-wire, in my opinion. Gavin, exactly. PMDG needs to take notice for sure. Rip that off. Love it, love it, love it. All right, Seattle, 140 at 4, 3/4 mile. Vertical visibility plus 3,500, 6,000. Light snow, mist. Overcast 8, 1, -1, 2, 9, or 9 or 8. So winds are 140 at 4. What are we going to be departing today? What are we going to be departing today? Let's go over to here. Look, that's a nice boarding music today. We will probably take off a 1-6 left for departure. So we're going to plan that. Here we go. Let's go back to our flight plan page. Seattle departure, 1-6 left. We're on the Seattle 8, which I don't think I've ever flown, but we're going to fly the Seattle 8. Insert. It's a vector departure all the way out to Bozeman. We don't have an arrival at Bozeman. It's just you basically get vectored into approach. We're coming off the Bozeman VOR. Winds are 320 at 4 knots. So with that said, if we look at the approaches, the only ILS that we got there, right now it's cleared up, 10 miles. So we could do ILS 12 or RNAV 30. I guess we'll have to set up for the RNAV 30. We'll set up for the RNAV 30, no star, approach via. And I guess let's take a look at the approach vias real quick before we actually pick one. So on the approaches, we're doing the RNAV 30 northbound in Bozeman. We could probably do. We're going to the Bozeman VOR, which is weird. We should have taken it off the airway, Joxit or Wilmot. You know, we could do it at FIDEP. Let's do it at FIDEP. Mr. Santana has gifted 5 memberships to you guys. That is absolutely awesome. Mr. Robinson J. Santana, thank you so much, man. Appreciate the support, dude. Guys, if you picked up a membership from Mr. Robinson, let him know that you are appreciative of that. Thank you very much for the support, my friend. Thank you. Alright, so I don't really see LVM, HIA, Joxit. Where can we take it from again? Let's take it from, we can't do FIDEP. I guess we could do it from Joxit. Insert, which is the full approach. Now we're going to have to look at our plan mode here. Let's see how messed up we did this here. This looks good. Basically a vector. Oh yeah, we done screwed up. So Eats, Bozeman. Basically, let's get rid of Bozeman. There we go, modifying the box, which is always scary. We'll do this, and then we'll just go here. We'll clear it up, and we may change that. There we go. That looks pretty good, actually. That looks legit. So, no problems there. Our flight plan is in the box. Here we go. Flight plan is done. Let's do a secondary, not modeled yet, RadNav. We are going to hard tune the Seattle VOR. SEA, I'm going to hard tune course 161. That would be our engine out. Single engine procedure, 161 progress page. Let's put Seattle in the box here at KSEA. Perf page, nothing yet. And NIT B, we're going to leave that just like that. We'll wait for the boarding process to finish. We're going to go here, we're going to go here, we're going to go constraint mode. No ATC online today, so we'll set our top altitude to flight level 370, which is pretty aggressive. Let's give it a shot. 37 is set. Don't have terrain installed. That tends to bug out my sim, that third-party app, so I've turned that off. So we won't have weather or terrain. Everything else looks good. So now we are just boarding. Some nice boarding music. Come back outside if we don't want to listen to it. Now, here's a question for y'all. If I am using the sim brief, or excuse me, if I'm using the onboard EFB to load this airplane, am I going to mess it up if I request boarding from, say, GSX? That's something I probably should have tested before the stream. But like if I wanted to load bags, you know, from GSX, would I be able to do that, or is that going to mess up the airplane? So, not quite sure what the compatibility is. Maybe you guys know. Greetings from Brazil. Roof, welcome, man. Fighter says pretty close to publishing the FMS V2 to a wider audience, I heard. Wow, that's pretty sweet, man. You guys know I flew the FMS2 airplane the other last week or so. Calvi Simmer has gifted 5 or excuse me, Kelly Simmer has gifted 10 additional memberships to the chat. Keeping it green. Kelly Simmer, welcome on board, man. Good to see you. Thank you for the very, very generous donation, man, of 10 gifted subs. You guys are all getting membership subs this month. Should be a lot of fun. I finished the trip yesterday. I didn't get to do a shorts video on it because it was kind of a pain in the butt. It was just an out and back. Come December, we might have some fun stuff. I've got some fun stuff planned in December as well, so I think you guys are going to like it. Thank you for the continued support on the memberships. You guys are absolutely awesome. Thank you, Callie Simmer. Thug Duck says, have my PPL check ride soon. Thanks for the inspiration. Thug Duck, that's awesome to hear, man. Let us know how you do. I'm sure you're going to crush it. Go in prepared, go in confident, and get the job done, my friend. Thank you for your support. Vidic, thank you for the $2 super chat. Appreciate you, man. It says, hey, everyone, whatever happened to the A318s? Man, Vidic, thanks for the super chat. Appreciate you. I would love to see some 318s around. I haven't seen a 318 in a long time. I think, didn't U.S. Airways have A318s? I feel like probably the last time I saw one was like in Boston in that blue livery, the all blue 318. If that was even a 318, I think it was. I knew there's some 318s. British Airways Speedbird operated one, right, to Kennedy from London City. The gifters are savage, exactly. The more I fly the Phoenix fly-by-wire, the more I feel like the PMDG is incomplete. Luminifer, I'm going to have to come up with a shorter name. Luminiferostather. Lumini. I'm going to just call you Lumini. I hear you, man. I haven't been in the PMDG in a while. We are going to, after this is probably the last Airbus stream you're going to see this week. I've got some special things lined up for you this week, and we're going to be switching our throttles out. We're going to get the 737 throttle from Throttletek fired up. We'll get that on cam. We might fly some 7.3, we might fly some 146, and we might fly a surprise airplane coming at you. So one that I have not flown on this channel yet. So that'll be coming at you here real soon. How do you change the sound for boarding? I don't know. Probably it might be in the EFB somewhere. I'm sure it is. Like to turn the boarding music down. It sounds like the boarding music is over now, which is cool because it was kind of, I mean, it's nice, but I hear boarding music all the time. Somebody said it really good on one of the live streams. They're like, all the things that I don't like about my real world job, like the benign things, waiting on passengers or waiting on rampers or boarding music, etc., are all things that most simmers love to have in the sim because that brings the realism to them. So just remember, it's all personal preference. Just because I may not like something doesn't mean that you're not supposed to like it either. But I thought that was a very good point. David Isaac, how often do you fly the Neo in real world? Thank you, David, for the $5 super chat. Well, I'll tell you what, David, I flew it. When did I fly it? Let me pull up the exact date so you know. I had a wonderful 6-hour transcontinental flight, coast to coast, with 150 knot headwind in it, on Saturday the 19th. So the last time I flew a Neo was on the 19th, so a little over a week and a half ago. But it just depends. My operator has all of the above on the Airbus family, so it's just a matter of, do I get a Neo or not? You could fly a 19, a 20, a 21 all in the same day. Hell, you could even fly a 19, a 20, a 21, and a 20 Neo all in the same day if you have 4 legs. But I don't like 4 legs a day. That's a lot of work. That's like regional flying. Good morning, Chris Stupor. Welcome. Robin H., welcome to the chat, my friend. Thank you for stopping by. Wonder what that surprise plane will be. Indeed. Is it the hot air balloon or a blimp? No, Robin H. If you see me streaming blimps on this channel, we got bigger problems, my friend. Kind of sounds like a New York City restaurant in the cabin. DC-3 with Pan Am livery. Ooh, wouldn't that be spicy? Are you guys liking the DC-3? Have you guys been flying it? I know there's a couple of y'all that have been flying it. I've seen some pictures in the Discord. Wilfredo, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. Welcome on board, dude. I'm getting excited to fire these engines up. Let's make sure everything else is done. I think everything else is done, right? We got our all we need is 8.4 on the fuel. I guess we're in a Neo. Let me come back here. Loving it. Wait, we have, let's download from SimBrief. Oh, we need 11. Oh, refuel truck just started 2 minutes, so we're a little bit late on the fuel truck. He's pulling in now. I guess we won't do GSX visuals on this one, but We just pretend he's out there. The DC-3 is actually harder to fly properly than I thought it would be. Guess it's a good thing. John, no, I guess so, man. I guess so. I'm going to fire it up myself, so I'm going to have to give it a whirl, no doubt. Seattle, my least favorite city. I almost got married while living there. Whew. I wonder if you're almost getting married has something to do with it being your least favorite city, man. I like Seattle for a few things. I like the food. I like the fish market. I love rain and overcast. I've had some good memories there. Would I want to live there? Debatable. Probably not. Ironically, when I went to fly cargo, my operator had a huge base in Seattle, and that was kind of the reason why I went there. It's like, I can live up in the Pacific Northwest. No, I did not get based in the Pacific Northwest. I got based in Oakland. Kind of a world difference there. In love with the DC-3 after Ice Pilots? Yeah, I've watched that show before, man. It's a good show. If you come back in the PMDG, it'd be cool to see you do a few of the ASA milk run. I know, Duffin, a lot of you guys love seeing it. Recommend that anyway. I think I did it off stream one time just to see if I could fly the milk run. It's a pretty neat little, pretty neat little route they got going up there. I'm gonna lower my NDs down a little bit here. It's a little bright. So everything else is done. But yeah, we are set up. Let's go ahead and fire up the APU while we're waiting. We don't have fuel yet, right? No, we do not have fuel. So we'll stand by on the fuel, but let's fire up the APU and take a listen, shall we? Sim sounds are up. Here we go. Wow, you can hear the flap open. A lot of work was done on the hand flying handling of the DC-3. Oh, nice, Chaos. I'm going to try it out for sure. Just finished a 7-hour flight with a 310 in the sim. I wish you a good flight and a butter landing. Jan, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Congrats on your 7-hour flight. That's a long one. Hopefully you had a nice butter there at the end. Why doesn't rudder move to the right when parked on a 320? It will move to the right or the left. Depends on where the prevailing wind is. That is all. Oh, you mean the 321X? All right. Even better, Chaos. I'm excited. I haven't done any flying with it. I took off, took some screenshots, alt F4, went and got lunch. So I'm excited to give it a whirl. Beautiful APU startup sound there. All right, APU is on. Let's get the chrono going. At least 2 minutes of burn time there. Our fuel is on board. We got 11,000 even, and it is balanced in the tank. So with the balance done, we can go ahead and go here, 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 and here. And we'll leave the external power connected for right now. We'll go seatbelt sign on. Dong! I'm gonna dim these a little bit here. Sitting under the cloud layer. I do love that about Microsoft. I mean, it really truly makes you operate your airplane. Like, the lighting is just spectacular. Alright, what are we waiting on? So refueling is completed. Payload is done. Correct? It is done. Beautiful. So in that case, we shall do this. Fuel on board 11.0. Populate. Lauren V2500, welcome to the stream. Glad to have you on board. No V2500s today, unfortunately, but we do have ourselves a pair of Leaps, which are my least favorite Neo. Alright, it did zero out. Good deal. Alright, so we got 9 minutes extra gas. Jeez. Alternate of 2.0. Boarding is complete. Alright, you guys have been briefed. I've been briefed. We are going to have to do a GSX de-icing situation. So, with everything else is done, let's go ahead and prepare for pushback and departure. Yes, we do need de-ice. There goes the
from the flight deck.
Oh.
On behalf of myself, your captain, the first officer, and cabin crew, I'd like to take this time to welcome you aboard our flight. We're just wrapping up some paperwork up front here and waiting to see final numbers from the ground crew, then we'll be on our way. Flight attendants will be coming through the cabin shortly with a very important safety briefing. We do ask that you give them your full, undivided attention as they review the safety operations of this Airbus aircraft. We do appreciate your business having you aboard this flight. If there's anything we do to make your flight any more enjoyable, please don't hesitate to ask. Welcome aboard.
Man, that pilot, that sounds like a real fake pilot if I've ever heard one. Maybe a 250-hour fake pilot. All right, that is good. Let's go ahead and close the cockpit door. Listen to the sounds in the cabin disappear. That is 10 for 10. That's one thing that you cannot take away from this airplane at all. The sound set, Boris Audio Works, just absolutely fantastic. All right, everything else is done there. Jet bridge is done. Let's go ahead and go beacon on. Let's go external power off, APU bleed on. 4-star checklist, windows door size, close it on, beacon on, thrust levers idle, parking brake is on. 4-star checklist is complete. We've got our 3 minutes. We got the bleed on. So now we are just waiting on, I believe, de-ice trucks. Yes, we are. Here comes the de-ice trucks. How cool is this? I don't know if they de-iced at the gate here or not, but we're going to do it anyway. Robin says, I fully switched to FS 2020 after investigating so much in X-Plane 11. Weather is a huge part of the switch, not going back. Indeed, Robin. Indeed, man. And unfortunately, in this current update, there are some bugs with weather loading, but hey, it is what it is.
Traffic Alaska 456 pushing off again, Charlie 17, Seattle traffic.
Yeah, they definitely have pads up there in Seattle. Alright, stand by. So we're going to go pack 1, pack 2. APU bleed is off. Engine bleed 1 and 2. Ditching push button is on. We are ready. We're going to do 100% Type 4. The beta update is supposed to be good with weather now? Okay, I'm not running the beta. I did update I did say I had a little bit of an update earlier, but look at that was cool. The lights actually reflecting on the ground from the de-ice trucks. How cool is this? Oh, and you can even see the lights on the wing. I didn't notice that before. That is awesome. Let's go ahead and get our icing on. What are packs? Pneumatic air cycle kits. Air conditioning for the airplane, essentially. Think of it as almost like a reverse turbo, really. Kieran, I did a whole members-only stream on that, play-by-play of that video for Mentor Pilot. Check it out, the V1 After Dark Party video I did, what was it, last week? We're in the 146. We played it out on that whole idea. De-ice truck's completely in sync. Well, not right now. Look, this guy's faster than this guy. It makes me nervous. Is this guy not as thorough? That's pretty cool, though. I mean, this is next level realism. Look at this. Are you kidding me?
Thank you for your attention, and we hope you enjoyed this experience.
I am enjoying this experience. If you're enjoying this experience, please smash that like button, because this is next level. It's a new guy on the left. Either that or it's a new guy over here. He's taking forever. All right, there they go. They're going to pull the trucks out. Now we'd go ahead and start the clock. 250-hour de-icer. Copy. Why do we have this all on? That is interesting. Not sure why that is. All right. We're going to go ahead and go ditching push button closed. Copy that. Pack 1, pack 2. Or actually, I should have my procedure out. Packs are still off. We'll go engine bleed, and we'll leave the packs off. I should have my de-icing checklist out. It's an FO thing. Alright, we are standing by for the truck to come. We are at gate Charlie 15, Seattle traffic, Alaska 357, Charlie 15, push Seattle. The only thing missing is the liquid remaining on the wing. Exactly. I know, P3D did that. P3D, you could actually see the fluid on the wing, which is pretty cool. Do the wipers work on the fly-by-wire? Let's find out. Negative. They don't work on the real airplane either, though. Spoiler alert. Not as good as everyone thinks. Airplane wipers, specifically the Airbus wipers, are probably like the biggest fugaze there is in this aviation. All right, I need to go nose right, tail left. Brad K, what's going on, man? Mike freaking White, dude. I agree with you, man. Mike White for president, dude. Absolutely love that performance. Victory Tuesday. It must be a realism thing. Yeah, they're not that good. Next time I run the wipers in real life, I'll take a video of it so you guys can see how terrible they actually are. All the wipers do on Airbus is make an awful noise, exactly. All right, brakes are released, clear to push. Roger. All right, so what I can do now is I'm going to reset the clock, and what we're going to do is we're going to turn on the APU bleed, but the packs are off. So what's going to happen is we're going to burn. I'm going to start the clock now. How did I do? I thought I clicked nose right. We better turn around there, GSX. So basically what we're going to do now is we're going to burn that APU bleed, and that way if there's any de-icing fluid in and around the pack area, it'll burn it up and spit it out before turning the packs on. If you have the packs on and the bleed on right after you de-ice, there is a potential there for contamination to leak into the air conditioning system, and it can make you really nauseous. It could even make you sick, honestly, if it's really bad. But that's why we do that. So we got a full procedure for keeping the airplane clean. Then you do a burn off, and then you can reactivate the packs. And every airplane is going to be a little bit different on how long you wait. And I'm doing it completely by memory, so I probably screwed it up, and someone will correct me in the comment section later. What got me into aviation? Man, it's been in my blood ever since I was a kid, dude, in all honesty. Is there a way to disable GSX pop-up messages? I believe there is, Jeff. But I leave mine on so I can see what's happening. So if there's no, so it's not like a, so I know what's happening, essentially. Yes, it does, Thug Duck. It does provide parking, or provide parking, air conditioning.
Airbus 320 pushing back from November 7. Yeah.
All right, so he's going to unlock. They're going to disconnect up front. We'll watch Mr. Blue Games out here. Man, I haven't seen Blue Games live in a while. Got to see what he's been up to. This is Live Weather Owen, indeed. Jet Kid, what's going on, man? Welcome. Check Discord for a holiday icon. Ooh, Fubar. Let me see what you've cooked up there, Mr. Fubar. Oh, and you got the 250. Oh, I like it. Hey, Fubar, you're the man, dude. I'm gonna get those loaded in here. You're the man, Fubar. I love it. Remember the tiller disconnect button works on the fly-by-wire. Oh, it does. That's pretty sweet. Unfortunately, in a realistic scenario like today with ice and snow on the ground, low vis, I'm going to do just like I do in real life to kind of practice, make sure I get in the right headspace if I have to go do this in real life. We're going to do everything here at the gate. Short taxi out, we're going to start both engines, and we're going to do our control checks here and everything. There is the pin. There we go. We'll give him a salute. Boom. I don't know why I just saluted in real life. You guys didn't see that on camera. Interesting. Cool. All right, we're clear to start. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's go up here. So we have 2:36. Let's say that's good enough time. Whatever your FCOM says, make sure you do it. APU bleed is on. Packs are still off. That's fine. Engine mode to ignition start. We have bleed pressure 35 psi. This is going to be one of the best parts to the stream. I don't know where we should start. Should we start it right here? We'll start it right here. I'm going to mute my mic so you guys get the full effect. Enjoy the startup sounds. Here we go. Turning engine 1. If that is not the best sounding engine start sound I've heard on any sim on any airplane of my entire life, I don't know what is. If you guys have a better start sound on an airplane, please let me know, because this, my friends, is the pinnacle of startup sounds. That is amazing. Waiting for the Avail light up here up front, nice and quiet up in the flight deck. Okay, Captain, never flown to Bozeman in real life. I loved it. Iron Man, thanks for the continued support, dude. I have not in an Airbus, though. I did it in a Citation jet. Let's go ahead and turn engine 2. Thank you for the support, man. Been over a decade since I've been into Bozeman. All right, man. Oh, my PTU. Oh, my gosh, that was amazing. That's just, I'm speechless. It's the best sounds there are. Period. That light off sound, my teeth literally rattle. Absolutely love it. You get up here in front, the N1 fan, much quieter. Right here, you're right abeam that hot section. That's probably the loudest spot on the airplane on a Neo. Well, pretty much on any airplane, really. Right abeam that hot section, you're going to hear all that good juice. Wow. All right, we got 2 good starts. There's a bus transfer. Did you hear that click over? All right, so we got 2 good starts. We'll go back to normal. We'll arm you. I never found out what our speeds were. There we go. 33, 33, 37, flaps 1 Toga. 5950, that sounds wrong, but we'll leave it. And all right, let's extend flaps, position 1. Gotta love it. All right, we'll go up to the overhead. We've had plenty of burn-off time, so we got the packs are coming off. APU bleed will come off. APU master switch will come off. We need engine anti-ice on the ground because we are in visible moisture. Temperature is 1C, so definitely need our engine anti-ice. That is on. And let's go ahead and get ready to taxi out. Before we do that, let's do a flight control check here so we can be heads up on the taxi out. We are full up, full down, neutral, full left, full right, neutral, rudder, full left, full right, neutral. We'll just do 0.2 down or so. That works for me. Auto brakes, max. Takeoff config is checked. Doesn't work because I don't have the mod installed. That's fine. On and auto for VATSIM. And we should be squawking 2000.
Please prepare for takeoff.
Oh, that is absolute juice. All right, everybody is down and seated. Let's go. And we are taxiing out via
Alaska 458 and Airbus 320. We'll follow company runway 16 left via Bravo. Yeah.
So we're going to go Bravo, Seattle traffic, Alaska 357, taxi into 16 left at Charlie via Bravo, Seattle. Cool deal. Brakes are released. Taxi light is on. Let's go. I have a feeling my tiller axis is not properly set up here, but interesting. We're going to cut across the pad, join Bravo, clear left. At least this isn't taxiway puddle sim, indeed. X-Plane, Puddle Sim. Puddle Plane 12. Nah, that's good. X-Plane's great. Would there be a chance you fly the default 330 in X-Plane 12? Negative, Ghost Rider. Chris Stuper? Unfortunately, the tiller from Cat 5 design is no longer in production. They've actually went back to work full-time as airline pilots. However, the good news for you is there is another tiller in the works, and I will have more information for you on that when it is available. But yes, I do love having a tiller, man. There's no doubt about it. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. Unless you really start taxiing around with a tiller, I don't think you realize how much realism you're actually missing out on, because there's nothing that crushes realism more than steering an airplane with your feet on the ground, other than a light aircraft, in which those you do. But, you know, in an Airbus, I tried to make a, so last night I was taxiing out of Miami, and I tried to make a right turn. It was like an S-turn, and I was trying to go right, but I was in the middle of a flight control check, because I thought I could get it done in time. So I think I was like full right on here, and I had to make a right or left turn, I can't remember. And I tried using differential braking because I couldn't do my flight control and have my hand on the tiller, and I didn't want to do this number like where you start crossing hands. So I tried using differential braking, and I successfully made the turn, but it was extremely aggressive, and if anybody was standing up in the cabin, they probably fell down. So that's why you can definitely taxi with differential braking and thrust with an Airbus, but it's pretty challenging, pretty jolty, that's for sure. Chris Tooper, it's back in production? I did not know that. Well, by all means, let her rip, my friend. That's good to know. Let her rip. Would there be a chance? Oh, no, I already read that. What's wrong with the default 330? Pretty much everything, like Chaos said. Except the visuals. The visual model is pretty good. The 330 in X-Plane looks great. Good cabin, good textures. But that's where my compliments stop. How do you fix your joystick and tiller on your desk? I have it basically sitting on... you won't believe it. So my joystick is sitting on a JP mount, just a regular mount you buy on Amazon, because this is a Thrustmaster Warthog base underneath here. My tiller is actually sitting on my Winwing Super Taurus, believe it or not. So I have like the styrofoam block that I put on top of that, and then I just put my tiller on top of that. So it's actually not mounted to anything. It's just sitting on top of a styrofoam block. But it looks pretty cool on the screen, doesn't it? It looks like it's like properly mounted and stuff. And it's not. It's just sitting there. Full send or no send? How many sends? Should we do a PAX off takeoff? Do you guys want to see PAX off? We have 350 watching with 144 likes. So for those that aren't familiar, sometimes on this channel what we do is I hold you guys hostage to see how many actually really want to see a full Toga takeoff. So we're going to shoot for 200 likes. If you guys can get me up to 200 likes before departure, I will do a PAX off takeoff, which would be interesting. Because we got to get a wing anti-ice on after takeoff. But if you don't, we're just going to do a standard takeoff with PAX on, and it's going to be really sad, and it's not going to sound as cool. So if you want to hear that, smash down that like button, and we'll see what we have. Ooh, we've got the salmon. We've got salmon Alaska up here. Got the Alaskan salmon. Absolutely love it. You guys are awesome. Thank you for smashing that like button. PAX off takeoff it is. Now this is going to be interesting. Let me mentally think about this for a second because, whoa, I'm going to run into this guy. So we're going to need to go we're going to need to go wing anti-ice on after departure. Typically we do that in a clean wing configuration. So right after rotation and we're up and clean, I'm going to have to go pack one on. Actually, no, that won't matter because we're going to be... We still have the engine bleeds. Okay, so we're going to be fine. Yeah, we're fine. It'll prioritize the ice. Never mind. That's why I like doing these streams. You guys make me think. I actually got to start thinking system-wise. But awesome. Thank you for smashing that like button. We will indeed do a PAX off takeoff with maximum Boris sounds. If you haven't heard it before, you guys are in for a special treat. Now, the question is, where is the best sound for takeoff? I think it's still going to be like right here. Or right here. I can't remember because it changes. It's a 3D sound position here. I'm pretty sure Pretty sure right here will be the juice, just like on startup. Oh, who's that landing? Someone doing an ILS. Look at that. I don't know why I'm dragging the reverser there.
Seattle traffic, Alaska 2112, lining up on the
Packs off emoji. Engine bleed will stay on, exactly, Flame, yeah. Nice taxi light, bro. I actually said that to somebody yesterday. We're all holding short of Miami, and was it 8 right for departure? There's like, this is full. There's like 6 people on left line and right line, and everybody had their light off except this one 737, and he was like number 3. I was like, nice light. Nice taxi light, bro. Do the slats push ice off the leading edge? No, they do not, Thug Duck. The slats are actually prone to getting ice on them. So they are the only part of the wing that's heated, believe it or not.
And Seattle traffic, Alaska 2112, departing 16 left.
You hold us hostage on the likes, we hold back on the likes until you ask. Nice, Romulus. Alberto D, what is up, man? Good to see you, dude. Welcome. They are Pratt & Whitney, Scott. Yes, these are Pratt & Whitneys. No. They are not. I like Pratt & Whitneys. These are CFM Leap Neos. Move on. Keep going, brother. Come on. Come on. You can line up.
Traffic, Alaska 458 is an Airbus 320 departing runway 16 left, turn out to be Seattle.
2. Just chilling, Alberto. Awesome. Ooh, we got almost 400 people here for the takeoff. Well, welcome on board. Always a pleasure to see viewers from all over the world join in for a snowy, rainy departure out of Seattle. So one thing I have noticed, you guys catch that stutter? I've noticed that earlier. Like, so no matter what I do, every I don't even know what the time is on it, but every now and then I get just a split-second stutter. How long is the flight expected to be? A 1 hour flight time. 1 hour. Do you engage reversers when mains touch down and wait till the nose is down? You can put them down when the mains are down. There he goes. Seattle traffic, Alaska 357, line up and wait 16 left, Seattle. Make sure there's nobody coming. I'm going to wait here for a second. Alright, so we're going to go strobe on. We will extend you, put you in on. Let's go ahead and align her up. Clear your cache and it might fix the stuttering. I'm going to have to try that, Tyrone. I mean, it's literally, I don't know, I think it has something to do with this airplane, I think. But it's not bad. It's just every now and then I get one little split second. Oh, it doesn't like running without SimBridge. Oh. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why. I'll have to try that. Yeah, see right there? I will have to give that a shot, KS. Alright, we are 16 left. Look at that lineup. Not bad for a fake pilot. Alright, here we go. Pack 1 off. Pack 2 off. Lights on.
Seattle traffic, Alaska 2112, heading direct. Normie past 67, final call. Yes, traffic.
Seattle traffic, Alaska 357, departing 16 left out to the northwest, Seattle. Are you guys ready? Spool 'em up 50. Get your yogas in chat. We've got a ton of members in here. Turn it blue. Enjoy the takeoff. Let's do this. Packs off. Toga. Stable. Yoga. Oh, yes. Listen to it rip and you hear it. It's still climbing. It's still climbing. Man, Toga, SRS nav. Auto thrust is blue. Thrust set. 100 knots. Check. B1. Rotate. Positive rate. Here up. Nav it. Fly with. Woohoo, yeah. This is supposed to be a manual leg here. So we're just going to go direct normie. Navin. I don't know why thrust reduction was 5,000 feet. Probably should have changed that. We are ripping. We are absolutely ripping. What's our time? We gotta make sure our time limit is on this Toga here. $5,900 was acceleration, which is not correct. Yeah, I know, airpack 1-2 off. One. I'm going to leave it an MCT now. Here's the breakout because I want to accelerate rapidly so I can clean the wing up and get our engine anti-ice on. That's about 15 seconds. We'll go air pack 2 on. So we're going to keep it at MCT. Here comes S-speed, flaps 0. Wing anti-ice is coming on. Yeah, 3 and 5, depending if you're a single engine. All right, now we're cleaned up. Now we'll go right into our thrust climb, auto thrust. 7.8. So that was, I saw that in the box. I saw reduction in acceleration. What happened here? Rut row. Rut row. Pilot 1. Make sure that everything else is done. Rut row. May have a dual latch failure. Well, nothing to view here. Let's continue to watch our climb out. We got all our heats on. We're navving to the right spot, so at least we got that going for us. McDo failure checklist. I have the latest version. I just updated it prior to the flight. Look at that though. Look at the strobe on the wings here, guys. So this is so cool for all my members that just watched me post that real world video of the strobes in heavy snow and rain. You see how it projects out at like that triangle? Look at that. It's doing the same thing here in these clouds. That is cool. That is freaking cool. It's almost identical to the video that I posted for my members. All right, we're at 10,000 feet. Let's go ahead and go. Oh, we didn't need the dome light on either, do we? I'll turn the dome light off. Let's go ahead and clean up the airplane. We're gonna see what we can handle here. Wing lights off. That's coming off. That's coming off. We'll let the cabin know that we're through 10,000. So we hit the forward call. We are still in icing conditions. We're going to let the engine and wing anti-ice do their thing. Remember, in real life, we wouldn't run the wing anti-ice unless we were actively accumulating ice. It almost seems like it's flickering. I don't have any failures turned on, right? Where are failures? I don't have any failures on. Well, let's watch this breakout, if we ever do break out. We're 11, 13, 5, we're climbing out. Can I get a radio check on 22.8?
Okay.
Christy, what's going on, man? I joined the stream and everything goes down the drain. Christy, welcome to the stream, my friend. Indeed, dude. It's, maybe you're just bad luck, my friend. So we have a dual MCDU outage here. Now, there is something called a dual latch failure that happens in the Airbus. This is not representative of that. I am not entirely sure what we have going on here. McDo, FMGC, flight plan. Interesting. McDo, FMGC, Direct 2 page. I have my Direct 2 page. So we're still flying. So I've got my Direct 2 waypoints. What about perf? I still have my perf pages. I still have everything I need other than the flight plan page itself. Okay, well, I think we're going to be just fine. I think we're going to be just fine until we start hitting some turbulence here. We're going to start to get bumped around here pretty good. We'll leave the seatbelts. Oh, my breakout. Are you kidding me? Let me go full live mode here for you guys. Oops. Don't need that again. Look at that breakout view. Have you tried unplugging and plugging it back in? I don't even want to unplug. Dude, look, are you kidding me? I don't care. I didn't care if we don't have any screens on this flight. Look at this view right here. Are you kidding me? We could be flying with no screens, no McDo's, no pilots. This view is still worth it. Oh my, screenshot. I need to screenshot this. Look at this. Look at this lake down here. Are you kidding me? And you guys think the World Cup is better looking than this? Come on. Just kidding. I know a lot of you guys like soccer. Thank you for joining the stream. Welcome on board. But look at this view. Literally real life. This is literally real life. That is great. What? Any Seattle residents around here know where we over here? What lake is this? There's a couple of them. One looks frozen. Oh my goodness! Let me turn the sim down a little bit so you're not being blasted. We're definitely getting some chop coming over the mountains here. Unreal. This World Cup is trash. Hey, I didn't say that. I'm reading a comment. Lauren, why do you say that? I heard it's pretty. I heard there's a lot of stuff going on with the whole, with it being in, with, like, I don't know, a lot of drama, a lot of drama around the World Cup. Look at these views, though. Guys, this might be one of the most spectacular views on a departure I've done in the sim. Like, this is top 5, no doubt. Are you kidding me? Like, the combination of the clouds, the snow and rain shafts, the snowy terrain. This is kind of reminds me of our South America tour when we were down in Patagonia, like some of the beautiful views we had out there. But this is next level beautiful. This is the view right here. Look at this. This looks like a nice snow shaft, some Virga, varying intensity rain gradients aloft. How do you like that acronym? Still remember that one from weather. And typically, when you see this in real life, this Virga here, what we call, what I just said, variable, I forget what it stands for now, but the rain thing, this is actually very representative of turbulence. So when you fly in and around Virga, you do tend to get a lot of updrafts and downdrafts, and it can be a pretty rough ride. And you can see right here, we're definitely experiencing that. Just love seeing everything come together. I love these I love how we got multiple layers of clouds here. We got low-level clouds, maybe some snow clouds, and we got some hot. Then we've got basically a gap, some good visibility, and then we've got some higher cumulonimbus clouds up in here. Just awesome. Flightbox V3 or mini box. Nicholas Bergen. You can't go wrong with either. I did an extensive review on both. Check the link in the description and on my channel about the Flightbox. You know, for the bang for your buck, though, no doubt about it, the best bang for your buck is going to be the mini box. But if you're someone who is simulating real-world procedures, such as myself, and I actually use this for real-world training, I really do like having the use of the parking brake and the rudder trim and the trim wheels themselves. Now, if you're not going to be, you know, maybe doing real-world single-engine stuff and it's not that important to you, then no doubt about it, the best bang for your buck is going to be the mini box from Throttletek. But like I said, for me personally, having the full panel there is good for training and recurrent purposes. But I hope that helps you out. So I did a video on the whole thing, so if you haven't checked it out, check that out as well. Might give you a better idea. What are your GPU loads? Let's take a look. Let's take a look. See that stutter there when I load it up. Right now, GPU is at 44%. CPU is pretty high, about 75%. So my CPU seems to be much higher in this airplane. Yeah, the CPU is running high on this one. But temps are 55C. I think it's all the clouds too. It probably doesn't help. All right, we are through 18. We'll go ahead and set standard here. We'll set standard here. STDs for you, me, and the jump seater. 1, 2, 3. We'll keep the anti-ice on for now as we continue to climb out. Awesome. 3090. MSFS cooks the CPUs. Yeah, all these clouds I think are really cooking this. Why is my CPU so high too? Try doing a direct, can help with the flight plan. Chaos, I will, let's try it. So we're direct. Oh, look. We're back. Hey, it's back. We're back. We got our flight plans back. Things are looking up. This is going to be a good stream. Good stream. Here we go into the bank angle check to the left. Oh, here's the window view. Juice window view. This is a fly-by-wire indeed. Clouds cook the GPU as far as you know, Christy. Right on. I miss you, man. Missed you, Christy. Hope you're well, dude. Hope everything is, hope the new girlfriend's treating you well since you've abandoned me. No love for me. But, just messing, man. Hope you're good. Hope everything is well on your end. How many total pound do you typically have in the cargo holds on the bus? 4,000. Ryan Johnson, I couldn't even tell you, man. So in the U.S., and my operator specifically, we load by bag count. So unless we have bulk cargo or maybe we have some... Is he talking to me? No, he's not talking to me. So unless we have specific cargo, like either heavy, like company material or any other type of bulk cargo that we're carrying that has a weight to it, we load based on bags. So we'll get a load sheet or an ALS from the ground supervisor, and it will tell us how many bags are loaded on the airplane, what compartment they're in, and if there's any heavy check bag. I believe a heavy bag is over 70 pounds, or maybe it's over 50 pounds. I can't remember. It's in the FOM. But those are automatically computed to pounds in the performance data when we send them off. So we only do it via bag number unless there's something additional, and then it's automatically computed. Now, I'd have to look it up on my iPad what we use as a standard bag. I think I wouldn't even be able to tell you a number off the top of my head. I'd have to look it up to see what the translation was between bag and pounds. But yeah, here in the U.S., it's done on bag numbers. Heavy is 50 to 70 pounds. There you go. Yeah, and then if there's anything else, like sometimes you'll get a motorized scooter or something like that, and that they'll actually have that weight. They'll have a weight on it, and then we will we'll put the weight in the weight and balance section itself. How come the fly-by-wire doesn't have the little arrows on the descent? It's tough to manage descent without using managed mode. Maybe it's not implemented yet. I thought we had descent arrows last time. We'll take a look at it on this way. But 3-to-1 rule, man. Not a big deal if you don't have them. Just 3-to-1 rule. Just see your issue with the McDo is a known issue due to the last update of fly-by-wire. Okay. Yeah, so I just updated it before the stream. So whatever the latest experimental is, I'm on. And I know this is the one airplane that I fly on a non-stable version. So there's a stable version of fly-by-wire, then there's another version, I can't remember what it's called, and then there's the experimental. The experimental version is like where it's experimental. They put in new stuff. It may work, it may not work. Kind of a use with caution, but that has all your latest and greatest updates. It's never really bitten me to the point where I've Alta-Ford the sim. I got close in Vegas and the last time we flew this airplane when I lost a flight plan. But I really was messing with the box a lot. But, I mean, that's to be expected when you're on the experimental version. So if you want something a little bit more stable, maybe just download the stable version. The thing with the fly-by-wire is they've made a really, really nice installer. So it's so easy. You just launch the third-party installer, and you can pick which version you want. And you click update, it updates, and you're done. Very easy. So they've come a long way. This airplane has come a long way. How was called engine spool up before takeoff with for 30 seconds? How was called the engine spool up before takeoff for 30 seconds? I'm sorry, I don't understand what you're asking there, bud. If Airbus did not exist and you could choose what you could fly, what would it be? If Airbus didn't exist, so I guess what's my only other option is a Boeing. I would fly 727. What's your opinion on Alaska getting rid of the 320 by this year? I didn't know that was a thing. I mean, it's a business decision. I don't think any of the pilots could care less because they are getting paid bank right now, which is good for them. They have the new bar. The new bar is set for the Alaska pay rates. But yeah, that's another thing, you know, with real world versus, you know, sim world and aviation enthusiast world is in real life, real pilots at airlines. Most of the time, they could care less what airplane they're flying. They are on a specific airplane because, number one, their seniority allows them to hold that airplane, and their quality of life is best on that airplane. Some may be on a specific airplane because they want some money. Maybe you're single and you don't mind being gone from home a lot, and you want a bit of wide body, and you don't mind traveling all over the world. Then they might be on the wide body. But at the end of the day, I think the only airplane ever that anybody was ever sad about leaving was the 757 and a couple MD-80s. You know, there was a lot of, especially American guys that were really passionate about the Mad Dog. I jump-seated on the MD-80 a ton, commuting out of DFW, and there was definitely some guys that were sad that they were losing the 80. But other than really those two airplanes, an airplane's an airplane. Yeah, BAE 146, there you go. MD-90, so you can still fly the V2500. Ooh, there you go. Alaska's ordering the Maxes. Right on. That said, tray tables are life. That's right, Chaos. I meant engine spool up prior to takeoff. Well, line up in a 70% and one for 30 seconds. Oh, you mean like the ice shedding procedure. Yeah, we didn't do any of that today. We didn't have any ice shedding. No ice shedding required. Or you're talking about for the CFM, just hold it for 30 seconds at 70%? I don't think I've done that. But if you're referring to ice shedding procedure, yeah, we've skipped over that too. ASA 320s won't be the end of an era like the Mad Dog. Exactly. Alaska didn't even have Airbus until they bought Virgin, so I'm sure most of the Alaska guys, they don't care at all. Concorde pilots, yeah, I think the Concorde too. I mean, that was, well, when you start going back into that day and age, it was a totally different era, you know, totally different era when you had the Concorde and what do you have, like the 7.2s were flying, L10s were still around, like different era. But the Concorde for sure, I never got to fly. I wish I paid more attention to the Concorde when it was around. I didn't realize how special that airplane was until years later after it was already retired, which that is something I regret. Could there be a failure when you aren't able to shut down an engine? There could. So you could have a failure to shut down. So we've gone over this in the sim before. But if you move the master switch to cut off and for some reason the valves don't close, the engine doesn't shut down, you can actually shut down the engine via the engine 1 or engine 2 fire push button. All right, we're level at 37. It looks like we're out of the ice, so Godspeed. Let's go ahead and get the wing anti-ice off and the engine anti-ice off. Smooth ride here at 37,000 feet. So the seatbelt sign is coming off. Reached our cruise altitude. I don't know if I updated the cruise altitude in the box. I don't think I did. I think we were still, yeah, we're going to 39. So here, we're going to put 37 here. Now we're at cruise. What made you decide on being an Airbus captain? Quality of life. And kids. You start having 1, 2, 3 kids. Somebody's got to pay the bills. Can't just be a senior FO forever. I mean, you could. I think honestly, and I tell this a lot to like senior FOs I fly with, a senior FO at an airline is probably one of the best gigs out there, because if you're senior enough.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Oh, hold on, stand by. Real fake pilot talking.
We just reached our cruising altitude for the flight. As it begins to settle in, I do want to remind you to please keep your seat elbows clear from the aisle, as the flight attendants will be coming through the cabin with galley carts shortly. Also, one more reminder to please refrain from congregating near the front galley where the flight deck door is located. Thank you.
So, a senior FO, if you're senior enough, you're obviously getting paid pretty good. You're not getting paid as much as captain, but with the current salaries out there on the newer contracts, like Alaska specifically, senior FOs are making good money. Your seniority for your days off and scheduling and all that is awesome if you're senior. Got good seniority. So now you've got good pay, good scheduling, good quality of life. You can pick what trips you want to fly, what trips you don't want to fly. And at the end of the day, you are a hell of a lot less stressed out than the guy with 4 stripes sitting next to you, because while you share the same duties up front, at the end of the day, the buck stops with the captain. He is ultimately responsible. If there's something that happens, the captain's filling out paperwork. Sometimes the FO will fill out paperwork as well, like if there's maybe a violation or something like that, we'll both fill out paperwork to cover our butts, CYA. But generally speaking, I was a hell of a lot less stressed as an FO than I was as a captain. But it's all part of the gig, right? You got to roll with it. You got to roll with the punches. But being a senior FO is a sweet gig, no doubt about it. Being a senior captain is awesome too. I mean, I'm not super senior yet. Hopefully one day I will be. We'll see what happens. But I have a moderate seniority, so I can get decent schedules. I mean, I had a week off for Thanksgiving. I think that's pretty darn good. But when there's problems, right? Problems at the gate, problems with who always is responsible for getting it fixed, and that's going to be the captain. So you do bear a little bit more weight with 4 stripes, but I mean that's part of the job, and I love it. I absolutely love it, no doubt about it. Senior FO on long haul is a pretty sweet. Oh yeah, it would be sweet, Lauren. Absolutely. Yeah, they still make a ton of money as an FO. Exactly, Fly Boys. SFO for long haul, of course, acting in command when the captain is on rest. Yeah, act as captain and absolutely. Send your sentry code to fly-by-wire on the EFB settings about page. They're going to send your sentry code. What was that? I've never even done that. So, settings. About what was I supposed to do? That's all I got. Oh, was I supposed to do something there? FlyPad OS3. I love it. I love it, man. This FlyPad they got is awesome. All right, let's do an outside view. Ooh, we are in snow-covered juice land. I don't know. I love the window view. I don't know. I think I've done this poll before. We don't have a super long flight, but I'm curious. We got a good number of people in chat, so I'm going to put a quick poll out there, because I often struggle with which view to sit at. Let's turn it down a little bit more here. They should give that announcer voice a raise. I agree. Will you eventually move up to heavy planes in real life, Mohammed? Who knows, man? Never say never, right? Never say never. How many overnights is standard for a senior FO, or is it their choice? If they're senior enough, Kevin, it's really going to be their choice. That depends on the airline, of course, right? It depends on their contract and what you're allowed to do and not do within the confines of your CBA, or collective bargaining agreement. Essentially, it's a contract between the pilots and the company. Here in the U.S., we're all I think everywhere's pretty much unionized, except maybe a regional or two. So if it's allowed, if you're senior enough, you'll be able to do it for sure. And when dealing with Karen, sometimes you have to kick people off. Yeah, Wow. 69% out of the gate prefer the window view. Interesting. Cockpit, external, then window. Interesting. Since you have sound sliders in the fly-by-wire external. Yeah, Chaos. I know you notice our ears didn't get blown out when we did our rotate, when we went to our flyby view. I'm surprised that many people prefer the window view. Well, here, excuse me then. How dare me? Then the fly-by-wire's got a pretty nice window, no doubt. Especially cruising in above these clouds up here. That is nice. Have I ever faced an engine failure? Not in the Airbus. I've had engine issues in props before, but nothing. I did have a PT6 roll back on me, but that was due to something else. Pretty sure all 121 carriers are unionized. Not sure on Breeze, though. Another flight attendants are not management. Very keen on keeping it. Yeah, Lauren. So I know SkyWest, the regional, they aren't unionized as well. But I think you're right. I think pretty much everyone else is unionized for the pilots anyway. I know some flight attendants. I believe Delta just got representation recently, flight attendants. But I believe all like the major carriers are unionized. Do I ever fly to Canada in real life? Jessica, I have indeed, yes. Matter of fact, we need to go back to Canada here pretty soon. We need to get up to the Pacific Northwest, or Halifax, Nova Scotia. Love that place. Haven't been there in years. Just look at that window with the sound as well. I could be there. I know, James. It's that good, dude. What's your opinion on working as a freight pilot? I think it's one of the best jobs that you can do to gain experience. Now, if you're talking, you know, small freight. Now, if you're talking legacy freight, UPS, FedEx, and all that, then more power to you, man. It's awesome. Knock yourself out. It's not for me, personally. Backside of the clock stuff, not for me. The money's there. Those guys deserve it. They put their bodies through a lot of stress and time changes and backside of the clock flying, so it's, you know, the money they earn is well deserved, but not for me. Do you ever cross the pond in real life? No, I've never crossed the pond. Not eastbound. Opinions on the XLR? Sweet airplane, man. Sweet airplane for sure. Worked at Delta back in the day when pilots would come down to the break room for a smoke break. Oh yeah, JT. Throwback for sure. I remember when you could smoke on airplanes. Legacy freight. Oh yeah. I mean, hey, if it's something you want to do, I've got friends that's all they want to do. Fly for UPS or FedEx. They get there and boom, they love it. More power to them, like I said. It's a tough job. Tough job, but well earned money for sure. Thank you for the $5 super chat, Kevin. Don't see a message with it, but I appreciate the support. Thank you, man. Well, I guess we can end this poll. Did not realize we were that many people enjoyed the window view. That's awesome. This window view is pretty cool too. Love the content here, says Kevin. Thank you, man. Good name too. Thank you so much. Appreciate the support, Kevin. Can you fly freight after 65? No, not 121. Hey, Captain, how you doing? Love from India. I'm doing great. Thank you, Sushant. Appreciate you stopping by the stream. Long way away over there in India. Glad to have you on board. Welcome. Will fly-by-wire ever update the cockpit model? Can never stand flying with it. You guys are hard crowd to please, because I hear that complaint a lot about the cockpit model, and I'm assuming you're talking about like this. Is this what you guys are talking about? Like the angle here? This is going to sound really weird. Maybe I'm just not that critical, but I never would have even noticed until you guys really start complaining. Honestly, it doesn't bother me, but like I said, it's just everything's an opinion. But I can see what's like this is like too high up, I guess. Like at an angle. Is that what everyone complains about? And as far as them fixing it, Until they get their own model, I don't know, because this is, I think that is the biggest, probably the biggest thing holding back the fly-by-wire is the Zobo itself, because it isn't a Zobo model. In your opinion, what is the most beautiful approach you've done, but hardest airport to land at the same time? No, that's kind of an interesting question. So no approach is really hard as long as you're prepared, right? So it doesn't matter where you're flying, what type of approach you're flying. If you're prepared for it, which you should be, and especially in the airline world, there is no approach out there that should be quote-unquote hard. There are approaches that are more demanding. They require more monitoring, or maybe they require more manual intervention, but nothing should be hard per se. Now, where things get tricky is when you have a lack of experience and you're forced into an approach that requires an extra amount of pilot demand, or demand from the pilot. If you're not anticipating that because you haven't experienced that approach before, that's when things get hard. You get behind the airplane, you get the airplane out of position, you do poor management of the energy state. That's when things get messed up. But typically on any given day, any pilot going into any airport across the world, it should be like, all right, this is, this approach it's cool. It shouldn't be hard. It should be, I know how to do it. I'm trained in it. I'm rated in it. Like, fly the approach. As far as beauty goes, there's too many to name, man. There really is. Portland, Maine is beautiful. The harbor visual in there. DCA is a famous one. West Coast, I like flying into Portland. Seattle is always pretty when you get vectored in over the water. Like, there are a lot of beautiful approaches out there. I couldn't pick one. Pasto approach is epic. Pasto is epic. But that's a perfect example. So the Pasto approach in South America is, like, it's not a hard approach to fly. It's an RNP turn. Like, this approach we're flying into Bozeman is an RNP turn. Like, it's not hard, and the airplane's doing it. You just have to manage the speed. Now, where your experience is going to pay off is like, okay, what are the winds doing today? What is the terrain like? If the winds are at this direction, how is that going to affect the airplane when it's coupled with the autopilot and we're coming around this turn? What's our ground speed going to look like? What's our ground speed mini going to look like? How is that going to affect my preparation in managing the energy of the aircraft? That is where you can get caught up, and it can make things difficult. But that Pasto approach, it's not physically hard. Pero would like to speak with me. Chaos, you bring up a great... Now, Pero, here's another thing about Pero. Those trained pilots that fly into Pero, I don't think they say it's hard. I bet they say you have to bring your A game, and only the pilots that go in there are experienced pilots. You're not sending 250-hour pilots that have never flown into Pero. But you know why? Because you need experience with Pero to safely execute that approach. There's nothing about it that is physically hard. Like, it's an R, depending on which one you do. You're really doing the RNP through the mountains, the airplane's navved up, you're monitoring. The other approach where you do the circle in the mountain, you're basically just doing a 180 turn. Your pilot skills are going to come into play there. Are you good at managing the airplane? Are you managing the wind direction, your ground speed mini, energy state of the airplane? Can I make this radius of turn in the valley? Those are all things that come into account, but they're not necessarily hard. I think that's one of the, what's the word I'm looking for, but kind of a misnomer term in aviation. Nothing should really be hard. You should be prepared for it. When you're not prepared, then issues happen. Now, Sam, good to see you. Also, engine failure procedures. Now, that for sure is where things can get dicey. So you think of Pero, I think of some other places in Colombia. You're flying these approaches where you are constantly thinking, what is my escape route? What is my escape route when I have an engine failure? That is where things can really get dicey, because if something goes bad, you need to be prepared. Now, what's that famous saying? We don't plan to fail, we fail to plan. That couldn't be more true when it comes to engine out maneuvers in an airplane. Like, if you fail to plan for an engine out on specifically a high terrain or a confined space, you are planning to fail essentially there. So you need to be prepared on all fronts. Flying the approach, 2 engines operating, everything running normally, just any other day. You're just flying an approach in an Airbus. But when things go wrong, that's where you really need to be on your A game. Sam says, just joining now, reading back the comments, so maybe someone has brought it up, but did you see the new Seattle scenery sold through the Orbix store? No, Sam, I haven't. Somebody mentioned it right when I started the stream. I was not aware of one. I will have to check it out for sure, though. I was not aware of one. Oh, wow, look at these views. Oh, that's a cool shot right there. Let's turn it back down a little bit. Let's open up here. Let's go over here. Let's go here. Con, I'd skip that one? Yeah. How about Innsbruck? Quite challenging. I've never flown it, but I would imagine the same thing. It's kind of the same thing. Those pilots that fly into Innsbruck, they've simmed for that approach. I'm sure they've seen that approach. The first time they've seen that approach in the real airplane, that's not the first time they've seen it. Like, they've seen it a dozen times in the simulator. They've probably been down there with a check pilot or someone to show them the ropes when they go into there. Their captain qualified to fly it. Once you get into it, man, that one where you fly down along the mountain and then do that visual turn in, that's got to be sweet. You're essentially just flying a visual traffic pattern. Yeah? Now, when you have an engine failure, where's your out? That's where you got to be set up, ready to go. The scenery is too much. I know, Pay. It's awesome. A little bit of chop here. I might have to turn that seatbelt sign on here. Hopefully the wallets will keep the chop down a little bit because they're so heavy with all the new money that we got on the TA. Hopefully the chop will settle down here. We have to turn the seatbelt sign on. Are you allowed to have ice on the wings of the Airbus from the cold soaked fuel? Boeing pilot, yes. Underneath, you're allowed to have an 1/8 inch of thin hoarfrost or cold soaked fuel frost. I can't remember what the definition is, but yes, you're just on the bottom side of the wing. Correct. You are allowed to have that. The moon is casually showing up. Exactly. Yeah, it was me that wrote that. It's a shame that the dev team built a static aircraft with the terminal. They got to stop doing this, or at least give us an option to install it. Oh, JetKit. Okay. So, yeah, I haven't even... I'll have to check it out. I had no idea there was a new Seattle released, but I will definitely check it out. I think people believe stuff is hard because we aren't as good as real pilots, so for some of us, there's stuff that can be quite a challenge. Duffman, I wouldn't say you aren't as good as real pilots. You're not as trained, and you're not as prepared as real pilots. You know, anybody, I don't want to say anybody, but those with the right mindset that want to become pilots can become pilots. Flying an airplane is not hard. It just takes understanding. It takes some knowledge. You know, it takes theory. You got to understand the theory behind flying, lift, and all that, drag, all the principles, all the basic stuff, and then practice. Practice makes perfect. I mean, the first time I got in an airplane, I didn't butter it. Trust me. I've had my fair share. Even to this day, I've had my fair share of planters. You know, but I think that's really the main difference between sim world and real world is, you know, we're trained on so much stuff. We've got so much knowledge on other things that when you lack that, then things will appear challenging because you don't have the knowledge behind it, right? Like, you could show me any approach plate in North America. I'm going to say North America because I know there's some funky ones after that South America tour. You can show me any approach plate in North America, and I probably know what every single symbol means on that. If you don't know every single symbol and every single approach, then it's going to be hard because you're missing key pieces of information, right? So it's just that it's all knowledge based. But I think that's the cool part about this channel and YouTube and this community in general is, like, that's why we all gather together, right? I can share my knowledge. You guys can pick up tidbits of information. The more information you pick up and you know, the better and easier flying will be for you. What rudder pedals? I am using the MFG Crosswinds. MFG Crosswinds. Practice, lots of practice. Yeah, Chaos, indeed, lots of practice. I wanted to fly crop dusters like my grand Paul. That's awesome, James. Crop dusting is, you want to become good at flying, that's one hell of a way to become good at flying. You will learn quick in crop dusting. Yeah, because of the wind, a little bit of turbulence. We'll come back into cockpit here, you can see we got a nice little tailwind today. 90 knots on the tail. Absolutely love that. 90 knot tailwind. We're ripping in here. How far we got? We need to enter destination data. Indeed we do. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's get a latest and greatest ATIS. See what we got. Our box is being a little bit funky, but we're going to see what we can do. Hopefully it's cleared out. Let's do a weather request. Don't need Seattle. Let's just do Bozeman. Or, yeah, let's just do Bozeman. We'll send that off. I do like how there is a delay with the received messages. In the Phoenix, whoa, just dumped my keyboard. In the Phoenix, it's instantaneous, which isn't real life. Flew from Seattle in the sim yesterday. Ground speed was 585. Oh, yeah. We are cruising. Fubar says, I had a co-pilot PFD flashing an orange ILS as on an approach after go around, but everything looked good on my side. Yes, you probably didn't have the LS push button on your FO side. That's why it flashes at you in orange. It's for the 250-hour pilots to remind them to turn on their LS push buttons. DCS stream sometime? Man, I would love to. I would love to. I haven't been in DCS in a while. I don't know what song this is, but negative. Negative. Man, snow-covered North America. Love it. What's up, Matei? Good to see you. I have a follow-up question to the de-ice on the pad. Do you still push the ditching button on? Correct. Yes, Anthony. Because what that does, that closes all valves outside of the aircraft below the waterline. Did you guys see the Leonardo MD-80 update with ACAR's functionality and sim brief over the weekend? Works good. Michael, I did not see that. Interesting that you bring that up, though. So I was going to try to... I couldn't figure out how to update my Leo. I've uninstalled it. I'm just going to re-download the whole thing and give it a whirl. But that's interesting. Did not see that, but it's good to know it's got a new ACARS with sim brief. Pretty cool. Roscoe, what's up, man? Good to see you, dude. Hope you're well, buddy. We probably need to prepare to start down. Let's do our received messages here, see what we got. We'll print that off. That's the latest and greatest at Bozeman. Real weather, if there's snow. It is real weather. There was snow earlier. I don't know if there is now. 040 at 3, 2.5 mile snow. Rip. Overcast 4,500. This is going to be a spicy RNAV. It's going to be a spicy RNAV. Bozeman, perf, next. QNH is... Now let's do the wind. 040 at 3. Temperature is minus 13. Oh my gosh, that's cold. QNH is... Why can't I ever find the QNH? 2996. I'm looking right at it. Hey, spicy meatball. I have a feeling we need to start down here pretty soon. Let's take a look at the approach itself. RNAV 30. RNP 30. Let's pull this up. The minimums for RNP 0.1 is 4742. Set. Done. Let's look at our flight plan page. Now we've lost a lot of our info, which is not good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try a direct to... What was that waypoint we have? I think we put it at Joxit, which is kind of out of the way. Let's do a direct to Joxit. Insert. We are navving. Alright, now it looks a little bit funky there, but that's because we have high speed, I believe. So, Joxit. I wish we didn't take it off of Joxit. I wish we did it off of FIDEP, but we're going to have to lay in our bed that we made now. So, Because I have a feeling if I change the whole of arrival or the whole approach, we're gonna get all messed up. Kind of looks like it's already messed up. Rainy Wilmette. There's Joxit. I tell you what. Let's do this. No, we're not gonna do that. Yeah, we are. I'm gonna see something. We're gonna go heading. We're gonna fly out to the southeast a little bit. And then we're gonna go direct to a fix later on, maybe Vomit or Womit. But we're gonna set up, we're gonna go a little bit south, give ourselves some spacing from this guy anyway. So let's fly heading 140 for spacing. Let's step on down. Let's step down to flight level 300. We'll push it. We're on a heading, so it didn't go down in vertical speed. That's good. So we'll actually do it ourselves. Or it didn't go down at a managed descent is what I meant to say. So we'll vertical speed it down at 1,000 feet per minute. 300 is blue. I'm stepping down to 30. We're flying 140 for traffic. What I'm trying to accomplish here is fly a little bit more south, so then we have a better angle to come in here for this RNAV. I was not smart, and I put the Joxit IAF. I should have done a Womit, which is an intermediate, or I should have done any other fix, essentially.
As we have noticed, we have begun our initial descent down to our destination. Now would be a good time to wrap up any business you need to take care of as we prepare for our approach. If you are up, once you return to your seat, we ask that you remain seated until the aircraft arrives safely at the gate. Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for arrival.
Love it. Real fake pilots in the intercom there. Roscoe, I never installed the Flightbox. Is it worth it? Roscoe, look. I haven't messed with the stable version yet. I don't know the difference between the stable and what's included in the stable versus the experimental. I'm on the latest and greatest experimental. From what I gather, if you can put in a flight plan and you don't have to modify a lot of stuff, it seems to handle pretty well. What is happening, what's in the pipeline for the fly-by-wire is they're going to be releasing a FMS2, basically the latest and greatest real-world FMS version, which I think is going to change a lot of things and iron out a lot of kinks. At the end of the day, it's a free add-on, and you get to fly a 320 Neo, which is pretty cool. Is it perfect? No. Has it come miles from the default? Absolutely. I think you would enjoy it for the sound specifically, but if you're not going to be heavily modifying the airplane or modifying your flight plan, I think it's going to work just fine for you. But it's when you start tinkering around that things tend to bug out, in my experience. Oh my goodness. Mr. Miggs has just dropped a $140 super chat. Miggs, you are a savage, man. Massive positive rates in chat for you, Miggs. I'm gonna give you positive rates and spicies. Thank you so much, man, for that huge dono. Says good evening, V1. Good evening from Spain. Took a flight down to Alicante Monday night on an EasyJet 320 Neo, hearing the PTU and flaps for the first time in a while, and just being that bit more knowledgeable at everything put a smile on my face. Smooth flying captain. Hey, Miggs, that is extremely, extremely generous of you. I cannot thank you enough, man. Thank you for your support, your continued support here at the channel, whether it's memberships, donos, super chats, monster donos. You're an absolute savage. I can't thank you enough. I am very, very happy to hear that you are learning things here on this channel and you get to experience it in real life when you're flying around. That's absolutely awesome, man. That's what I do this for. So hearing that kind of feedback makes it all worth it. Thank you again from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Brad K, my fellow Jet fan himself. Juicy stream as always. Brad K, thank you so much, my friend, for the $4 super chat. Let's get a dub this weekend against the Vikings, huh? Let's shock the world. Let's shock the world together, Brad K. Thank you for the support, my friend. Thank you. And I gotta say, it is nice. So, like, kind of going back to what Roscoe was saying, the fly-by-wire Neo, like, it really does a great job of feeling like a different airplane than the Phoenix. It really does. The Phoenix, to me, is your old classic, no sharklets, all the incandescent bulbs in the cockpit, that yellow with glow, dirtier textures, old school, classic 320. Right, you sit down in the cockpit of the Phoenix, and your butt just goes right to the bottom of the chair because there's no cushion because it's an old airplane. The Neo, I get in the cockpit, everything's clean, it's crisp. I expect to sit down, and the seat is nice and cushiony, maybe a little bit firm if it's too cold. That's one thing about the Airbus seats. Like when it's cold out, fun fact, when it's cold outside, the cushions on the Airbus seats get hard, which like you can sit down. If it's really cold, you sit down, it feels like you sit on a rock. But then as they warm up, they get softer. I don't know if it must just be the material they use or whatever. But the fly-by-wire Neo does give you that feeling of, hey, you're flying a different airplane here. This is a Neo versus a Classic. And the sounds alone, I mean, the startup sounds that we had, fantastic. Best startup sounds on any sim, on any airplane ever, period. Jeff says, been waiting for the day both pilots eat the fish and I get to land the 320 in real life. You never know, man. You got to be ready, Jeff. You got to be ready. Migs says, high fives. We have fantastic community here. I couldn't agree more, Migs. Couldn't agree more, my friend. All right. So now that we're getting a little bit further south. Once we get a little bit further south, we will go direct. And we're going to step on down. We're going to set 24. And I'm going to pick up the rate of descent to about 1,800 feet a minute here. I'm going to keep flying south, so we're basically going to force ourselves to join the RMP from this side. Brad says it'll be a spicy game for sure. It will, Brad. Here's the thing. I honestly think the Jets can beat the Vikings. Like, legit. The Vikings, they don't have a blazing offense. All right, they are a very methodical offensive team. They march down the field, nice mix of run, pass. So if our defense can show up, if our defense can play the game we played New England, dude, we can definitely beat the Vikings, no doubt. Where I think we're going to get in trouble is if we have to play from behind, which I don't think our team is built to play from behind at all. Nope. 250-hour pilot. I did not change any settings, man. Welcome to the stream, dude. Remember the days when fly-by-wire hasn't had TOD calculated, so I had to do the calculations on paper? Now with the Phoenix, you're a bit lazy. Exactly. The Sharklet view, giving the flashbacks to the guy that tried to climb the Sharklet to get away from police. I heard about that, man. Sounds like the seats in your truck. Yep. Broncos going to be relegated to the XFL. I'm sorry for you Broncos fans out there. I was pulling for you early. I wanted to see Russ cook. I wanted to ride with Russell Wilson in the Danger Witch, but man, you guys are awful. Go Browns. Eesh. Who the hell is going to Bozeman, Montana? Keith 6, what's up, man? I don't know, just some crazy Seattleans going over to Bozeman. Cowboys beat them should be a walk in the park for the Jets. Al, hey, there is no such thing as a walk in the park for the Jets or the Cowboys, in my opinion. Like, whenever I think it's supposed to be a walk in the park for the Cowboys, they lay an egg. So the Jets are very much the same way. It's amazing how similar the teams are in letdowns. 20% load factor. Yeah, Q6. Probably not a lot of people, especially today. It's like minus 13. That's freaking cold, man. Still can't believe the Niners lost to the Broncos. Yeah, that's pretty sad. Jeff, you're a Texans fan? Rips in chat for Jeff. Rips in chat for Jeff. All right, this is about good here. So now let's go direct to Rainy, and let's see how spicy we can get here. Direct to Rainy. Insert. We're navving. Beautiful. We're below the descent donut, so we're at 1,200 feet there. That little China hat. So we're looking good. So we're on course. We're at 290 knots on the speed in the transition. We got still ripping tailwind up here. Guys, so this is crazy. Last night, coming into DFW, had a 45-knot headwind at 500 feet. My ground speed mini on approach was 164 knots. I was like, can I go flat? Like, I mean, I was like, flaps full. I'm like configuring the airplane. Well, look at the, hold on, pause. Look at the reflection. Look at the reflection of the Sharklet on the wing. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? Look at the reflection of the Sharklet on the wing. Explains in chat. Explains in chat. Anyway, so I was flying in Dallas last night, 164 knot on the ground speed mini because we had a 40-something knot headwind right on the nose. It's crazy. And I was like, at some point this has got to bleed off. But and it did. Our actual VAP speed was like 130, like 128. It was low. But because of that headwind, 160 was fully configured, gear down, flaps full, managed speed, ground speed mini. We were 160 knots over the ground, over on the indicated, which we were doing about 130, 140 over the ground. It's just wild, man. If we were doing 130 indicated, we would have been doing 90 knots over the ground. That's crazy to me. Look at the reflection of the shadow on the sharklet on the wing, K. I know, it's stupid, man. It's stupid good. Flame says, I had some crazy ground speed mini going to LaGuardia a few days ago, 170 knots. Yep, dude, I believe it, man. It's wild, huh? I guess it's just that time of year. All right, we need to continue to set a lower altitude. So I'm going to set 18. I'm going to manage it. Thrust idle, descent. Come on, catch back up to it. Catch back up to it. Let's set a final approach fixed altitude at sit 3 for 5,700 feet. Let's set 5,700. And perfect. We'll pause the music there. We'll end that song. We'll get the sim sounds up a little bit. I need to go over here, hundreds of feet. 57 is set. We're thrust idle, descent. We got to catch up to it. Let's go spoid brake out. Let's get flight recorder ready for the replay because this is going to be a spicy one. Hopefully we're going to have to review the missed approach on this one because I don't like the way the weather is deteriorating here. Flight recorder is up and ready to go. How are we looking on descent? We are catching up to the profile. There's the profile. I will tell you this. All the fly-by-wire haters can say all they want about the fly-by-wire, but I tell you what, the fly-by-wire has a more accurate vertical deviation in the indicated airspeed window in the, what's this called? The Econ descent window than the Phoenix does. For some reason, the Phoenix, it's always hovering at the bottom of the Econ descent window. In real life, you're either pretty much on it or it's more common to be at the top of it like we are right now. So we're definitely we're coming down. We caught up to it. That looks good. Let's get our seatbelt sign on. I don't know. I don't like all these dashes here. It kind of makes me nervous, but everything else is fine. We don't need LS push buttons. Let's turn our LS push buttons off. And we have VATSIM up, right? So let's make some radio calls here. We are, about 50 miles to the west. Setting up for the RNP. 30. Bozeman traffic, Alaska 357. We're about 50 miles to the southwest at 19,000 feet. We're setting up for the RNP 30 Bozeman. Right, we're at a 19.2. The latest and greatest meter was 29906. So let's go ahead and set 29906. Which I need to do it in cheat mode here. 29906, which is 1015. 1015 is set once, twice, and 3 times. We're going to go contaminated runway. I'm going to do manual brakes, full reverse. We're on the path. Everything is looking good now. We're right on the path. We're out of 18,000. We got to make sure we level here at 11.3 because we don't want to go below 11,300 on this. Sounds like me flying ILS with a 152 and a 39 headwind. There you go. Exactly, Alex. Yeah, we would have had slower ground speeds than a 172, no doubt. Have you ever been to Melbourne, Florida? Yes, I have. That's where you do your training 141. Nice. Are you at FIT? Matt K. Awesome, man. Yes, I've been to Melbourne. 40 knot headwind at 1,500 feet flying. Jeez. I wrote to Devin surprisingly fast, got a reason. I messaged them in regards to static models, and they will put out an update within 2 days. Jet Kid, that's awesome that they got back to you so fast. So in reference to the Seattle airport, the new one that's on the Orbix store, I guess within a couple days they're going to post an update so you can have an option for static aircraft. That's pretty cool. If a headwind was 45 knots, why wouldn't the ground speed be very slow if you're flying indicated? It would be very slow, Bill. That's why the Airbus has ground speed mini. So what the ground speed mini does is it takes into account the winds at the ground and the winds at the current altitude on approach, and it looks at what the difference is, and then it will bump up your indicated approach speed to protect you from a wind shear or a loss of headwind, and coincidentally your ground speed's going to bump up, right? If you're flying a faster indicator, your ground speed's going to pop up. It's going to increase. Now the problem with that is if you're flying into a busy airport, so say maybe you're trailing a couple 737s and they're all flying 130, 140 VAP, and you're in your Airbus at final approach speed 160 knots, you are eating them up and you're going to overtake them, so it can cause for some spacing issues, which at that point you would have to select speed and you can dial it back and fly your indicated VAP speed. However, that's not really encouraged. It's not really a good thing to do, especially if you're running with the auto thrust. But some operators do it. I don't know why I armed the speed brakes. We'll disarm those. I did my first ever solo cross country to Melbourne. You know what? I think I did too. The Melbourne Milk Run, Key 6, right? The Melbourne Milk Run. I think I did as well, now that I think about it. I feel like we're really low. I guess not. Let's just make sure she levels at 11.5 here. 737 plebs without ground speed mini. I am DJC. You just ordered your Throttletek V3? Nice, dude. Well, congratulations on that. Let's go ahead and get our Throttletek cam up on the line as well. You're going to love it. I spoke with Roberto yesterday, so those waiting on throttles, batch 3 and 4 are wrapping up. So batch 4 is probably just is obviously behind 3, but 3 is still in the wrap-up phase, and it's you know, it's not a huge company, right? So it's almost a one-man show. They're trying, when you overload something like that, the production time takes a hit for sure. So just be patient, and you'll definitely enjoy it when it arrives, no doubt about it. We got a good alt constraint star here over Rainy, 11,300, beautiful. It wants to slow to 210, which we'll go ahead and, I tell you what, let's go ahead and manually do that. Let's go ahead and select 210 on the speed. Keeping an ear to the radio as well. I hear guys talking. I'm going to select speed 210. We're at 11.3. We're going to start down here after Rainy, and we're well below the 10,000 MSA, so we're going to do this. We don't have any ATC on, so we'll get both lights on. We'll do a forward call. Thrust idle descent. Somebody's on short final. Need to slow down here. Mr. Wheelspin report, where do I position my Throttletek? It is sitting on a little table to my right-hand side, just a little bit below thigh height, pretty much where the real throttles sit in the airplane. Yeah, I have it sitting on a table. All right, there's VFE next minus 10. Let's go flaps 1, which are slats. We're going to do a Telerider Aspen approach. Oh, yeah, Jeff, it's coming. Don't worry, my friend. It is coming.
Traffic, looks like the breakout is on 500.
All right, so he broke out at 500. That's cool. We're 180 at the next speed restriction, so let's go ahead and slow down. Somebody's on downwind. Bozeman traffic, Alaska 357, about 10 miles to the southwest. We're on the RNP 30 out of 10,000 Bozeman. Now we are getting high. Let's see if we can arm the approach. We cannot. Let's see if we can activate and confirm the approach phase. We can. Now let's see if we can arm the approach. We cannot. Let's go VFE next minus 10 flaps 2. Whoop. Never done that before. Love the flap sounds. Alright, we are 180 for Mod J. We're supposed to be out above 7,400. We're a little bit high on the slope here, or on the path. Let's go ahead and keep coming down. Bozeman traffic, Alaska 357. We're essentially on an extended left base for 30, 10 miles to the southwest out of 9,000 Bozeman. I think someone said they were on downwind, so I don't want to cut anybody off.
Bozeman traffic, Alaska 456 is vacating runway 30 at the end. We'll be taxiing Alpha to the gate. I'll call Bozeman.
Right. He's down and clear. That's good.
Bozeman traffic, challenge 316 kilo, short final 30. Bozeman.
There's our path. He's on short final, so we're good. So the closest traffic, I think, is on short final, so we are pretty much set up here. We're following the RNP, which is pretty good. We have a 180 knot restriction all the way around the turn here, which this is going to be spicy. You're coming around 180 knots. Look at our tailwind. We've got 15 knots on the tail, so we might have to be Johnny on the spot with the gear. Our landing elevation is 4,400, let's say 4,500 feet. 2,000 feet above that is 6,500 feet. So at 6,500 feet, we should be going gear down no later than.
Bozeman traffic, Alaska 458 and Airbus 320 out of 8,300. Left downwind, extended left downwind for runway 30 RNP.
Right, so he's joining the RNP. We're Mod J inbound. Bozeman traffic, Alaska 357. We're Mod J inbound on the RNP 30 Bozeman. So if he's on the RNP, he probably knows where Mod J is. We're holding 180. We're speed, descent, nav, out constraint star. Doing a fantastic job at that. Engine anti-ice is on. Let's go ahead and start the recording. Flying into a snowbank up here.
Bozeman traffic, challenge 316 kilo, clear of 30, taxiing to the ramp via Alpha 3.
Might
Alpha.
take over manual control. Signs are on.
Bozeman traffic, Midwest 7350.
Midwest?
RNP at Womack 430.
That's a call sign I haven't heard in a while. All right, Janoke.
You're probably thinking of the airline. We just made up a cargo for this.
Oh. Disappointment. All right, let's go ahead and manage up.
The guy joining at Womack, are you
Let's
going
go
to slow
get
down, or am I going to be going around again for you? I'm at 180 knots. What do you need me to get?
next minus 10, flaps 3.
I think you're cutting in front of me now. So, all right, Alaska 458 is going around for the second time.
Thrust idle, descent.
Poor buddy.
And let's go flaps full. I feel like, has that always been there? A little texture on the flap? Looks good. Bozeman traffic, Alaska 357, turning final, 5 miles, 30, Bozeman. All right, we're 140 on the, or 130, what's our VAP? 132 on the VAP. We're on speed. Speed out star. We never set the bottom. Shoot, keep coming down. Minimums are 4,700, autopilot off. Flight director's off. All right, don't do this. Give me the bird. Bird's in chat. So we never got approach guidance, huh? Hold on. Yeah, we never got approach guidance. So RIP. This is totally illegal. Do I have to have the LS button on for this? Shouldn't. This is highly illegal. Do not try at home. Now we're getting high for sure.
1,000.
1,000 feet stable. I got a bad feeling about this. I got a really bad feeling about this. Descent rate check.
Traffic Alaska 458 is direct
500.
tire for the mist. Second time. So,
Okay, here comes
400. 300.
Bueller. Here's our
100
minimums.
above. Minimum 200.
1001, 1002. Son of a gun. Let's go around flaps. Flaps 3. Positive rate. Gear up. Bozeman traffic, Alaska 357 going around, no contact. Alright, we're go around track. I don't know what our go around altitude is. It's just set 8,000. Pull for open. Thrust climb, open climb. Let's go flaps 1. Autopilot 1. Let's dial up our speed here. And we have no missed approach in the box. RIP. Let's go ahead and stop the recording. I could save that one as a BZN go around so we can watch that one later. I'm going to save it. Out star. Now we're flying around in the mountains without. Basically, it goes all the way out to Thies, so we can rejoin for FIDEP. Let's fly the airplane first. We're flaps 1, engine ISON. We're 8,000 feet. If we have to rejoin, we'll stay at 8,000 for now. That's
traffic
fine.
on the mist. I think about 4 miles behind you, but I'm going to cut on the inside of you as we're minimum fuel going to fight up at 10.
Gotcha. So let's group 7. That's fine. Alright, so he's min fuel. We are getting close. Let's set up for the ILS 1-2. No star. Approach via. I'm going to vector myself off. Let's fly heading 270. And let's change approaches. Because that RNAV was not going to cut it for us. So, ILS 1-2 now. That's off of Falia. There is an arc to join. That's spicy. We're not going to do all that. Let's load it off of Falia and then join from the outside. So we're going to do... Well, we can't. That's not on there. What else can we join it from? HIA. That's full approach. Could do it from... Is these in there?
Bozeman traffic, Alaska
Nope.
458 is direct
All
flight
right,
up.
let's just do it off of HIA, which is full.
30.
Insert that. We're going to fly heading 270. Bozeman traffic, Alaska 357, 8,000. We're going to continue out to the west, so we're going to set up for opposite direction, ILS 1-2 Bozeman. Because we don't have enough gas to be... Well, we got 4.7 in NEO. We'll be all right. We're going to continue outbound, and we're going to come back around and join at Thies. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to actually fly 260 on the heading. And let's climb and maintain 8,500. Screw it, make it 9,000 for easy math. 9,000. Speed, open climb. Let's go ahead and continue to 250 knots. And we'll clean up the rest of the airplane here. Speed flap 0, F takeoff check. We should have done that earlier, but all right, we're cleaning up. 250 at 9,000. Perf data. Let's resequence the box. Activate and confirm the approach phase. ILS 1-2. The baro for this approach is 4643, so a little bit lower. That is set. We are going to use our LS push buttons on this approach. LS push buttons are on for both of us. We're going to fly out a little bit, and then we're going to turn right back, probably right into Habib there. Let's resequence. All right. USA won the match? Won what match? Alright, no RNP is the biggest reason why I don't mess around with the fly-by-wire. Well, just gotta improvise, adapt, and overcome, right? Crow, I missed your super chat, dude. Sorry about that. It says, aw dang, missed the start of the stream. Hope you're doing well, Captain. Are you going to decorate the flight deck for the holidays? You know it, Crow. You know it, my friend. Absolutely. You guys remember last year I flew on Christmas, too. Gave you guys a little Christmas cheer. All right, we're pulling an X-plane here, and we are, all of a sudden, all of our snow is melting. Let's go ahead and, I want to come in at these, cut the corner at these there a little bit. We'll cut the corner at these. Let's slow down to 180 now. Let's slow back down. World Cup? Never heard of her. What's that? All right, we're slowing back to 180 knots. Then we're going to go direct east. We're going to cut this corner. Bozeman traffic, Alaska 357, 9,000 feet, about 20 miles to the northwest. We're set up for opposite direction, ILS 12 Bozeman. We're slowing to 180 knots. I'm going to proceed direct to these right now. Insert. That looks good. VFE next minus 10, flaps 1. I'm just messing with you guys. I know what the World Cup is. That's cool, though. Go USA. Go USA, man. I didn't even know we had a soccer team. Wake me at the final championship in the last 30 seconds. And then I might tune in. All right, there's VFE next, minus 10, flaps 2. Looks like all of our snow went away. We beat Iran? Again? Just kidding. I'm going to get in trouble. America Ball. Hey, Aaron, what's up, man? Good to see you, dude. When ATC gives you a heading, you scroll an FCU given heading, or you just to try monitoring track? Nope, you put it in the heading because if ATC already knows the wind correction, they know where you're tracking, and if you're the only guy that's flying a track instead of a heading, you're the one that's going to be out of position. So always fly the heading ATC gives you. All right, 8,300 at or above. Let's focus now. We're coming back. What's Filia? Filia is at 8,000 feet. Let's make things simple. Let's descend and maintain 8,000. Thrust idle, open descent. 8,000 is blue. Can I arm the approach here? I can. So glide slope blue, lope blue, Cat 3 single. Now it should arm after we turn inbound here. So let's see what happens here. Mixed. Exactly. And demonetize. Hey, it's all in fun, right? It's all in fun. From a VATSIV perspective, please fly the heading. There you go, exactly. Just like in real life. So yeah, always fly the heading because they, remember, air traffic control, especially in real life too, they're controlling other airplanes and everybody's flying headings. They should be. So if you decide to get fancy and fly a track, guess who's going to be out of position? You. So always fly the heading. So it looks like we are capturing, not quite. All right, so we're still RNAVing, good. We're glide slope blue, low blue, nav. We're at 8,000 feet. We got 4.4 on the gas, manual brakes, full flaps, full reverse. Things are looking up. Looks like the weather is cleared up here. Look at that. That snow, this is a reason. Let's just take a moment to appreciate this. This is another reason why, in my personal opinion, that doesn't mean anything, that I enjoy this sim so much because this developing weather situation that we have here is something that even with all the add-ons in X-Plane, at least from my experience, whether I had the not Rex, but whatever the active sky and all that, it was never as dynamic as it is in Microsoft. And this is real world stuff. You know, we fly an approach, we see absolutely nothing. We go mist, we can accept the tailwind limitation, let's come in, let's shoot the ILS. We're flying in clear skies right now. We have a snowstorm that's actively moving through the area of Bozeman. This is one of the scenarios in this sim where I'm just like, I love this sim. Little things like this really make a difference. And I really, really enjoy this. Traffic turning final on 30. How far out are you?
Turning 6 mile final now.
Copy. Bozeman traffic, Alaska 357. We are turning a 15 mile final opposite direction for the ILS 12 Bozeman, and we're slowing to final approach speed now, so you should have plenty of time. I'm going to slow early because he is opposite direction. I want to give him plenty of time, so we're gonna configure early here. Let's go ahead and extend flaps 3 out of our normal sequence. Is the Phoenix a good tool for practicing pilot training? Absolutely. I use it myself. The Phoenix and the Tolus are both very, very good training tools. No doubt about it. All right, I'm not seeing a glide slope yet, which is a little bit scary. Let's, after Filia, we can go to 6,800. So let's set 6,800. There is Filia. Okay, there's our slope. There we go. We don't have to set it now. There's our slope. We're going to stay at 8,000. We're getting ready to enter the snow again. Do I recommend the MFG crosswinds? Absolutely, Tony, 2 times. Make sure you have a mounting solution. One thing I did not anticipate was the fact that they tip. So if you don't have it mounted, because the pedals sit up off the base, if you put like 1 foot on, it will tip to that foot. So all I did, since I have carpet, I used that Velcro, like double-sided Velcro or whatever, and I just Velcroed it to the floor. It works like a dream. But that was one thing I didn't anticipate. But yeah, if you mount them properly, I could not. I have no bad things to say about the MFG crosswinds at all. I use them for light GA, Airbus. I use them for helicopter. I would recommend, if you are going to go out and get the MFGs, I highly recommend getting the dampener system. I have mine with the dampener, and it's really smooth, buttery. You can take your foot off; it doesn't snap and wobble. It just slides right into position. So, highly recommend the dampener with it. All right, here our locus captured. Glide slope is alive. Mick says, but the puddles though, have you ever seen an actively developing puddle? I have not. You know, I gotta hand it to explain for that. The puddles are very dynamic, Migs. All right, glide slope star. And our go-around altitude on this puppy is 8,000 feet. So 8,000 we shall set in white because we are in half FMS2. Look at that. Go-around altitude 8,000 white. Awesome. Love to see that. Let's configure all the way to final approach speed early. So I'm going to manage speed, which I am there. Let's go ahead and go gear down. Let's go ahead and start the recording, number 2. Love it. Engine anti-ice is still on. Let's go flaps full landing checklist. Landing checklist, we're above 2,000 AGL, so we don't have the landing memo here, but landing checklist, Captain could advise auto thrust speed. There's our outer marker, that's the final approach.
2,500.
Bozeman traffic last 458 off runway 30.
Bozeman traffic last 357, 7 mile final, 12 Bozeman. All right, we are entering the snowstorm now. We are Cat 3 single. Why is that? Because I'm missing some. There we go. They were Cat 3 dual. Should I auto land this sucker? Nah, we're not prepped for an auto land. Hopefully we see something. How's our fuel? 4.1. Looking good on the fuel. Tailwind 10 knots is our limit. We're right on the slope now. Let's arm the spoilers, check, and never did our cabin call. ECAM memo, landing all green, landing checklist is complete. Minimums are set in the McDo. Right now you can see we have 4643, which is right about 200 feet AGL, so, or yeah, AGL. All right. Let's see if we can see something here. Approaching 1,000 AGL. Everything is looking good. 46%, and then ones. No excess vibes. Everything looks good. The eerie soup silence. Exactly, Crow. Exactly.
1,000.
Stable, clear to land. Only about 2 knots on the tail now, so that's good. approach lights. So now we can continue. See the rabbit. Approach lights means you can
500.
continue until 100 feet above touchdown zone. Approach lights, continue is the call.
400.
Runway, landing, that's the call. 2 whites, 2 reds, beautiful approach. I want to hand fly it now.
300.
Now I want to mess it
100
up.
above.
2 whites, 2 reds, runways in sight, landing.
200.
Oh, shoot,
Minimum.
now we're losing it. Come back, come back, come back.
100.
A little bit of a burble. There we go. Now we're getting out of that snow shaft.
50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. Retard. 10. 5.
Nice and firm on a contaminated runway. Spoilers, reverse green. Just gonna let the airplane slow down here. I'm not being aggressive with the brakes. We got a really wet, sloppy runway. Touch them here a little bit. Can we make this one? We'll take the net. We'll make a 180 on the runway. Actually, can we turn here? Whew. This is runway 1 or 2, 1, and 3. Let's turn here. So this is runway 2, 1, and 3. We're going to join this one here. Now we need to figure out where the terminal is. There's nobody else flying, so we're good. We don't have to make any more radio calls. So we need to turn right at Alpha. Oop. Let's go ahead and keep rolling. See, FS2020 loves to hide the runway after you see it. That's realistic, though. I've seen that happen. You go in and out of a... Oop. Looks like I have to rebind, retweak that number 2 engine. Turn right on Bravo and we'll clean it up. Yeah, the snow is coming down now. So those snow shafts, intermittent, right? In and out. I've seen the runway and then lost the runway in a rainstorm. It's happened to me in real life. Now, I don't know. You know, Microsoft's probably doing it a little bit more than normal, but... All right, now that we're clear, let's go here. And once I'm straight... I want to listen to the sound. We'll go here. Stop the recording as well. And it's coming down now. Look at that. Glad we had extra gas. Alpha 3 down here. We gotta go. Ah, there's a car. Don't look. There's our Alaskas. That was, what was that feet per minute? 88? That was a firm 88? I'll take that. Always feels smoother when you have a contaminated runway. Fly-by-wire really saved Microsoft. I love the fly-by-wire team. I agree, BKG. If it wasn't for the fly-by-wire, I wouldn't have been in Microsoft hardly at all. It really did save. It saved me for sure. I'm leaving the lights on for taxiing, so nice strobes, I know. Slow it down here. Man, it's coming down now. We've got to find ourselves a gate. There's Southwest. And where's my salmon friend? There's my salmon friend. Let's park next to him. I don't know where the line is. I guess there is no line, so we're just gonna make our own line. How's that? As long as we don't touch tips out here. I'm definitely gonna touch tips. I'm gonna come back to the right. Look at my strobe reflecting off of his airplane. Are you serious? I didn't even know that was possible. That's freaking cool. Alright, let's head into replay mode. Thanks for the flying, guys. We will disconnect from that sim. Migs dropping another dono, $14 super chat. Thank you, my friend. He says that landing was melted butter in a freezer. Also, if you fly some European routes this Christmas, I personally go do down people chimneys and gift them channel memberships. Oh, Migs, indeed, indeed, my friend. Thank you for the support. Absolutely, we're gonna have to get on that for sure. Absolutely. All right, let's take a look at the replay here. I'm gonna re-extend the flaps. Parking brake is off. But yes, Migs, you're gonna have to give me some route requests in the Discord, dude. Hit me up in the Discord and what European routes would you like to see? And we'll have to make dreams become reality here at the V1 channel. All right, that is down. Let's check out the replay. Resuming. In the suit we go. Let's move it forward. So my replay graph shows me my vertical profile. It's just locked in perfect because we had the autopilot on. Let's see how we did here. You did key 6? Nice. Whew, yeah. Oh, look at the water effect. I didn't know that was added. Oh my. I had no idea that particle effect was added. That is freaking sweet. Let's try it again. Reset my reversers. Let's watch it from wing view. That spray was nice. We may not have dynamic puddles, but we have dynamic spray. And then we gotta watch the go around, so don't go away. I mean, this is a low fizz approach, no doubt. Just a kiss on the lips. Spoilers, reversers. Oh yeah, that is the juice, my friends. That is absolutely juice. I mean, that is cool. I feel like we're hydroplaning. That is so cool. I'm going to pause that one. What we can do is I'm going to load the other replay. So I'm going to save that as Bozeman landing so we can come back to it. And let's load the go-around. Alright, so this is the go-around replay. The replay does not save the exact weather conditions. So that's one thing at Microsoft. So like basically the weather will continue to be dynamic. You will not see the same weather that you flew in necessarily if it's dynamically changing. If it's a static weather condition, then it's obviously it's going to be pretty much the same. But in a dynamic weather condition, no. Nicholas says, I just subscribed. Really engaging video. That's awesome. Thank you so much for the support. Have you ever flown to from DIA in this sim? No, I have not. DIA, it's not ringing a bell, so I probably haven't been there. But thank you for subscribing. Welcome to the channel, my friend. I feel like jumping in the fly-by-wire after watching this stream. Yeah, man, it's the sound set itself was makes it all worth it. All right, so here we go. We'll have to see that. We're gonna listen to the go around here pretty soon. We're still coming down. Oh, DEN Denver. Yes, Denver. I've been to Denver multiple times. I don't love the Denver scenery I have. I have the default one, the handcrafted. It's pretty terrible. But I think there's a payware out there that might be better. Yeah, DIA is the old one, that's right. I knew I'd seen that. Yeah, Denver International. Yeah, makes sense now. Flightbeam Denver is the best. I'll have to check it out, short final. So we're still on the RNP right here. You can see we're still fast. Oh. We're still turning around. We're coming around. I'm going to skip forward a little bit. Alright, so here we go. Resume. Things are getting low and slow now. Alright, so we're about 1,000 feet above minimums. MiG's Microsoft 2030 will have a USB plug-in play water spray. Oh my gosh. 4D juice. That would be awesome. All right, here we go. Things are getting spicy. Things are getting spicy. We're hanging out. We're hanging out. We're hanging out. And we're going around. Oh. That's awesome. There's the runway. We can see it in the replay now. You can see the runway. We were pretty much right over it. But yeah, we never would have seen that. Listen to those engines ripping. Those engines are absolutely ripping right now. Cool deal. Thrust reduction. Oh, yeah. Too good. Too good. Alright, I'm going to load the last one. And we're going to end it there, folks. Alright. Gears are coming down, flaps are coming out. I'm going to say goodbye. You're going to say goodbye. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me on this Tuesday afternoon in the lovely fly-by-wire A320neo. I hope you enjoyed this stream as much as I did. We got a little de-icing in. We got a little bit of turbulence in. We got a little bit of R&P. We got some go-around action. We got some puddle spray. It was awesome. I will see you guys later this week. If not tomorrow, maybe Thursday after I get back from the gun range, because I might be spending an ungodly amount of money on a toy this week. So, if not tomorrow, I will see you guys Thursday, possibly Friday as well. Probably not Saturday, probably not Sunday, but probably 2 more times this week. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day wherever you may be watching from. Thank you for your continued support. Miggs, Callie, Simmer, Santana, Robinson, Brad K. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for your support. All the other members in chat, everyone else just watching, smash that like button for me before you leave. And until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. I'm V1. See you.
500. 400. 300. 200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, retard.